unusual circumstances where we're trying to communicate with the American people, and we're trying to maybe bring the American people a little closer to you and get some answers. To you, Mr. President, when was the moment that you thought, we got to move on this?
Well, I think when I started seeing and reading about China and seeing what was going on in China, Wuhan specifically, it seemed to come mostly out of there, that area, the province. And when I saw that and I saw the kind of death they were talking about on television, in the papers, and I started reading a lot about it. And really, when I had to make a decision, do I stop people from China and specifically that area, but from China to come into the country? And everybody was against it. Almost everybody, I would say, was just absolutely against it. We've never done it before. We never made a decision like that.
Did somebody come to you with a bit of information, a piece of data? Was it a world leader? Was it a member of your own team? What was it?
You know, we had a large group of people right behind me in the Oval Office, and I consulted with Mike, but we made a decision. I made a decision to close off to China. That was weeks early, and honestly, I took a lot of heat. Sleepy Joe Biden said it's xenophobic. I don't know if he knows what that means, but that's okay. He said it's racist, what I did. Thousands and thousands of more people, probably tens of thousands, would be dead right now if I didn't make that decision. And I must say, doctors, nobody wanted to make that decision at the time. It was very, very early. Call it luck or call it talent, it doesn't matter. We made a great decision. I took a lot of heat from China. They weren't happy with it. Now they understand it. And they really, we're doing just fine. But they were not happy with it. I took a lot of heat from a lot of people.
Bring the conversation to present day. In the past day and a half, you got a lot of attention for this. A tweet that I think went out late at night. You said we cannot let the cure be worse than the problem itself. So you start to look at this 15-day period, which will come to us. Day 15 is next Monday today, arguably day 9. What are you trying to gauge as to how you can open the country back up again?
Yeah. When you say I took a lot of heat for that, essentially, I really didn't. I mean, a lot of people agree with me. Our country is not supposed to be, it's not built to shut down. Our people are full of vim and vigor and energy. They don't want to be locked into a house or an apartment or some space. It's not for our country. We're not built that way. And I said, I don't want the cure to be worse than the problem itself. The problem being obviously the problem. And you can destroy a country this way by closing it down, where it literally goes from being the most prosperous. I mean, we had the best economy in the history of our country 3 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden we're supposed to shut it down. And then we're supposed to pay people not to go to work. We never had that. We used to pay people to go to work.
But this is a government order to go ahead and stay home. It's tricky, though, when you try and turn the faucet back up. New York could be different from Utah. Louisiana could be different from Arizona. So how do you go about making that decision?
Well, you have to make the decision. Look, we lose thousands. I brought some numbers here. We lose thousands and thousands of people a year to the flu. We don't turn the country off. I mean, every year. Now, when I heard the number, we average 37,000 people a year. Can you believe that? And actually, this year we're having a bad flu season. But we lose thousands of people a year to the flu. We never turn the country off. We lose much more than that to automobile accidents. We didn't call up the automobile company and say, stop making cars. We don't want any cars anymore. We have to get back to work. Now, with all of that being said, it's incredible what the American people have done. And honestly, the American people have learned. We've all learned together between the shaking of the hands and the washing of the hands. Well, I used to wash my hands, and I always wash my hands a lot. I never was a big believer in shaking hands. Once I become a politician, you shake hands and you get a little bit used to it. Like, immediately when I see you, I sort of apologize that I'm not shaking your hand.
We exchange air elbows, which seems to be the thing to say.
I never like to see that, actually. But
yeah, right now on Capitol Hill, you've got members of the Senate debating a $2 trillion bill.
Yeah, more than.
Did you think that it blows away the ability for us to imagine that they could pass legislation in excess of $2 trillion? Now, who knows what's behind the curtain there? Who knows what is stacked into $2 trillion? How much
You're
concern
right.
do you have
Well, we
that
canceled the
you
deal
could
last
be
night.
facing criticism that President Obama faced in 2009
Well, we
about
canceled-
sweetheart deals for certain companies as
Sure.
Democrats would?